Hey, welcome again. How you doing, guys?
Hey everybody,
Hola.
it's Arnold and Fernando.
And today we're going to talk about Panama hats. Panama hats.
Panama hats, which by the way everybody, the biggest misconception is everybody calls them Panama hats. But in reality, the hats that we know as Panama hats are really made in Ecuador, which is Fernando's birthplace.
Yeah. Ecuador. Yeah, the Ecuador hats.
They're really the Ecuador hat. Now, shed a little bit of history on why these hats are referred to as Panama hats.
This ain't, well, when the construction of the Panama Canal is, the hats were being taken to Panama. I think the guy was a Spaniard businessman, Manuel Alfaro Gonzalez, something like that. And he was in Panama. He was exporting these hats, and when he was there, the story says that when Theodore Roosevelt was there for the inauguration of the canal, he gave the hat to him and said, for the photo op.
1900 early, right?
Yeah, 1906, something like that. Or,
early 1900s.
Yeah, 1900. And then was like, he told them, oh, this is an Ecuador hat, but they were in Panama. He never said they were Ecuador hat. And in the newspaper, it never came out as they were Ecuador hat. But they said that they took a lot of photos with the hat, and it became popular. And then later on in the mid 1900s, in the 1940s, I think it started getting popular, and the hats were being sold from Panama.
Right.
So everybody just started calling them Panama hats.
Panama hats.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because I got a good friend of mine. He's from Colombia, and he brought me a hat that looks just like yours. And by the way, Fernando's is an authentic Panama hat made in Ecuador. So an authentic Ecuador hat.
Yeah.
But anyway, he brought me one made in Colombia. Same style, pretty much, and they call it El Salteño in Colombia.
Salteño, yeah.
And I'll share about what I know about the hat, and then you tell me what you know, and you correct me if I'm wrong. But I think when it comes to the hats, the reason that the hats are pricier, finer hats, more expensive, it has to do with the weave.
Yeah.
And I believe in Ecuador, it's a toquilla palm, right?
Toquilla palm, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Toquilla palm. So yeah, so it grows in Manabí, in one of the provinces there in Manabí, one of the states there, and they've been doing that for hundreds of years. They've been weaving that.
How close is that to where your family's from?
Well, my mom is from that area, from Manabí. It's close by. I think it was in Montecristi, Jipijapa.
Yes. Jipijapa, and that's what they used to call them in Cuba. They used to call these hats the Jipijapa hat.
In Ecuador, they used to call them the Jipijapa or the Montecristi hat.
Because that's the region, right?
Yeah,
the
or
region.
the Toquilla hat. That's what they used to
call. How about
call.
Cuenca? I've heard also referred to.
They said there were two big centers where they were making these hats, in Montecristi and in Cuenca. And I think there's the names of the weave, I'm not too sure, but I think there's two names of the weave, the Montecristi and the Cuenca style of weaving the hats. And yeah, and the tighter, the more select the weave is, the better it is.
The tighter of the weave.
The tighter of the weave, the color, if it's all that has the same color, the weave, then it's more expensive.
Absolutely.
And they just, actors and
oh yeah, I mean Panama hats, or in Cuba, like they used to say, Jipijapa hats. They were the gentleman's hat to wear with a guayabera, like you're wearing right now.
This one.
And that became a wide spread fashion, not only for people in Cuba, but all over Latin America.
All over.
I mean, you go to Mexico and in Yucatan, they wear the guayabera yucateca.
Yeah. And
they wear the guayabera with the hat. And, sometimes in Mexico, I've been there before, they make a lot of them out of palms. Yes. And it's a different kind of palm, it's a different weave. But it's a similar kind of hat, like a gentleman style hat. But like I remember when I went to visit my grandfather in Cuba, back in '93, my father had sent him an Ecuador hat, Panama, aka Panama Ecuador hat.
Ecuador hat.
And it came, I remember my dad had it sent to him by a friend who was married to an Ecuadorian lady. And it came in a little wooden box, which I wish I could show you guys now. We don't have it. It's like a little balsa wood, And then the hat was folded. And then, he had it shaped and planchado, ironed out, starched. And then my grandfather had this hat, and he would fold it in half, and he'd put it in his back pocket.
Yeah.
And then he'd take it out, put it right back on, and it was perfect.
Perfect.
Every time.
That's why they became famous. And and the style. And everybody thinks the Panama hat is only one style.
No, there's several different shapes. And in Spanish they say copas, you know, like the one you're wearing now. I think what's this one called? The Gamboa.
This one is called the Gamboa.
Very elegant style.
Yeah.
The one I'm wearing here, this one is like a safari style. This one's actually made by Panama Jack. We carry these here in the store, by the way.
Yeah.
A little bit of advertising.
Yeah, we carry these hat, all different styles.
We got a bunch of
hats.
different ones. This one here is an Ecuador hat as well. This is more of a gambler style.
Yeah.
Let's see if you guys can take a look at it. But you can tell I mean, it's just beautiful the way that it's shaped here, the weave, the color of it. You know, it's just a gorgeous hat. You know, then you got the ones that are firm, a little bit more firm, like this one. You have the ones that are a little floppier. But remember, you can starch any of these hats and give it the shape that you really want.
But el planchado, what they call the ironing.
Exacto. This one is more of like a little, you know, Cuban hat, you know. But kind of like a little Panama hat as well. And then even the Carlito Fuente bobblehead, he's always wearing his little hat, you know.
Little hat, yeah.
And the funny thing about it, though, is in the cigar industry, going back to Cuba, even, you know, 100 years, it was always widespread. Like I said, my grandfather, he was from Las Villas, central Cuba, and it was always his thing. Like, he would wear his guayabera, he would have his hat on, and that was just the way that they dressed. And, you know, it's just an amazing look, I think. We're in the 20th century, or 21st century, right?
Yeah.
And it's still a very elegant look.
It's still a very elegant hat. It's still, and the prices vary from, you know, cheap, $40, $50, all the way into the thousands of dollars, depending on the master weaver, how long it takes him to make the hat.
I think it takes months, right, for them to make a...
Yeah, it goes anywhere for a few weeks to 8 months, 9 months, and I think the last hat that sold for like around $100,000.
Incredible.
It was like an 8-month project for the hat, but you know, since it became famous as a Panama hat,
by the time Hollywood, dignitaries,
and by the time they wanted to switch it to Ecuador hat, it was too late. And they kept it Panama Hats. But That's right. Panama Hats.
It was the commercial name, really.
Commercial name. It's the commercial name. It's the Panama Hat. And but up until now,
still an amazing look.
It's still an amazing, still a classic.
This one was given to you by a family member, no?
Yeah, this was given to me by a family member. He gave me this hat. He said, you know, will you like it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And it's a great hat. You know, use it as much as I can. Here in Florida,
what a beautiful hat.
It looks elegant. It's beautiful, and it goes well with, you know, a pair of shorts.
Anything really.
Shirt. You put your hat on, and you see a lot of people wearing this now.
Oh yeah,
it's fashionable.
I mean, we sell them here in the store. People they walk in all day long. They try them on. They talk about them. They just rave about them. And I mean, we've been talking about doing the video with the Panama hats, or AKA Ecuador hats.
Ecuador hats, yeah.
for like days now, because. You know, not only is it something that goes really well with the cigar industry and what I do, but it kind of goes hand in hand, you know,
with the culture and everything.
The culture, and it's part of, you know, the Hispanic culture. Doesn't matter what country, really.
And so now you know the Panama hats are actually Ecuador hats, but everybody knows them as Panama hats.
Right.
And you know, even though a lot of countries make them now, Ecuador is still, you know, the original maker, the one who still makes the best hats.
They're known for it.
They're very known for it, you know, and like you said, hippie hapa hats.
Hippie hapa is
which I learned, I didn't know.
Which was a region. It's a region in Ecuador.
And I didn't know they called them hippie hapa. I thought it was just in Ecuador.
Well, Dad used to tell you all the time.
Yeah, he used to tell me, oh, that's a hippie hapa hat.
And by the way, his hat is hanging on the wall there by the painting. Yeah. I should have brought it in, but I don't want to move it because it's just there, and you know, he always had his hat on. That was his signature thing.
But now you know. You know, when the next time if you see a Panama hat, look in the rim inside, it tells you where it's made.
Absolutely.
It tells you right there, you know, where is it handmade, you know, and we'll say made in Ecuador, it tells you right there. And you can look to see where it's made, and, you know, if it's from Ecuador, it's an original Panama hat. And
you're going to pay more money for it. Just remember that.
Yes.
Because it is about the weave. You know, nowadays there's so many different countries that are manufacturing it. So, you know, sky's the limit price-wise. I mean, you can go from anywhere between, for a good hat, I'd say 40, 50, all the way up, like to Fernando said, like to thousands of dollars. But, you know, you got to try it on, see what suits you best. Some people like the ones with the bigger brim. Some people like the ones with the smaller brim, right? It all depends on the person wearing it. The one I'm wearing, I don't know if I said it, is like a safari style. But I do have you know, several of them like that. My wife always says, another hat? You bought another hat?
Yeah.
She says, they all look the same. I go,
No,
well,
no.
they might look the same,
But they're not.
But they're not the same.
No, they're not the same.
They're all different in their own little quirky way.
Yes, they are.
You know? But anyway, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to hats, right? Is there anything else you want to add?
I think pretty much, you know, we let them know that the Panama hats are Ecuador hats, how they're made, the price, and, you know.
I guess it's like cigars, right? Cuban cigars and Dominican cigars.
Yes. You know, and
they're both good, very good.
And hopefully this will, you know,
and Nicaraguan.
You'll inform yourself about the hats, and
Absolutely.
the next time you look for a hat, if you want an original hat, ask them if they're made in Ecuador.
Yeah.
You know, and then you'll get an original hat, great quality hat, and it looks really nice.
And if you're in Tarpon Springs, come and see us.
If you're
we
in
do have a little
Springs,
bit of a selection. I'm not a hat
not
store by any means. I mean, I wish I had more room for more hats because I really love the hats, but
yes,
you know,
if you want to have this classic look, come into the store. We have different size, different shapes of hats, different styles.
Absolutely.
Come in, pick up a few of our cigars.
There you go. And if you don't find the right hat you're looking for, I won't get angry or mad. But you know, you can always look at what we have. And at any rate, we love to talk about the hats and the cigars and part of the culture.
Yeah, and we'll see what will come up next. And this is something that we're just talking right now about the Panama hats and explaining. He says, well, let's make this video to
let's make a video
about where do they come from and how do they make it and all this and
absolutely,
you know, and what makes it so well kept in style. You know?
And I think we'll continue to do the videos like we always say, and we'll continue to educate our friends and our consumers as long as you guys enjoy the videos, because that's really what it's all about.
So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you like this information, and we'll keep it up, man.
And if you guys like it, hit like and subscribe.
Yep.
Signing off, everybody.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Nos vemos.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.